Today we will talk about the new Blood Knight essences, and I got some of the best ones already, so we are going to be able to test them. Basically, Blood Knight got one really good and one decent new legendary item. I want to start with the decent one, and we will talk about the rest later on. The one I am referring to as a decent one is the new main end essence. Verling Strike now causes you to dash forward, damaging and knocking back enemies in your path, while also applying a stacking bleed. Verling Strike can be activated again up to 2 additional times, with the final strike hitting all nearby enemies and causing a knockup. When you first read this, it looks really good, but actually it's not that good. It's just decent, especially for PvP. Because dash range is pretty short and first 2 knockups works just like the knockup from Demon Hunter's multi-shot essence. They are not so effective. As you can see from the clips, it's just decent. But for PvE, this skill is going to be used in both dungeon and farm builds. I already created new builds and I will share the dungeon build tomorrow. Now let's move on to the really good one. And that's the new chest essence. Swarm of Bats also destroys enemy armor, increasing the damage they take by 19% for 3 seconds. Well, this is a really good essence to have, plus you can use it for dungeons, open world farm and PvP. And I compared it with the influencer chest essence for the dungeon build because that was the go-to chest essence for dungeons before this one. Now let's see the test clips. As you can see, they both deal very similar damages, and that little difference can be just from my timing and things like that. But the really important thing here is the new chest increases the damage the enemy takes for everyone, not just for you. When you play solo, both chests perform really similar, but when you are in a party, everyone is going to benefit from the effect of the new chest. So that's why I think it's the best chest essence for Blood Knights. Especially for PvE. It should perform really well for PvP as well, but you might want to use different chest essences depending on your build. Now let's talk about the rest of the new essences. First, we have this new helm essence. Verling Strike also increases your damage by 19% for 3 seconds. Nothing crazy. For dungeons, the Mephitic Cloud Helm is just better than this because that one increases your damage by 25%. And it deals damage at the same time. For farming, I prefer Horns of the Hex Siphon Blood essence, and for PvP it depends on your build. And for the shoulders we have one more essence for Swarm of Bats. Swarm of Bats now passively sends bats to attack bleeding enemies and can be activated to deal damage to nearby bleeding enemies, causing the bats to return and heal you. Let's take a deeper look on this. Swarm of Bats now deals 21k damage to all nearby bleeding enemies when activated and recalls bats to heal life equal to minimum of 1% of the damage dealt up to maximum of 8%. And passively a bat will periodically attack a bleeding enemy dealing 9k damage. And I tested this periodic attack is very slow. And I don't see myself using this essence because for PvP Solemn Snare essence is like a must have, so you can't really use this one, and for PvE you basically don't need it. And for the pants, we have this Abomination essence. While Abomination is active, your primary attacks cause enemies to bleed, dealing 5.9k damage per second for 3 seconds. Well, Abomination is one of the coolest skills we have in the game, but unfortunately there is no use case for this skill at all. And lastly, we have an offhand essence for Ravage. Ravage also deals an additional 5.3k damage to bleeding enemies. Ravage is just not a good option to use as a primary attack skill, so this essence doesn't matter. Maybe in the future with more essences for Ravage we might use this one too. Well, that's all the essences Blood Knight got. Like I said, 2 of these are going to be used and I will be sharing the new dungeon video tomorrow. Thank you for listening and take care.